was trying to get into the mind of Donald Trump. Are you guys listening?
Yeah.
So I have the feeling that the deal of there is the Bitcoin that Venezuela has is going to come into play in some way.
The thing is, just like it's difficult to know where that is, you know.
Believe me, if they want to know where it is, they can figure that out.
Oh, for sure. That for sure.
Do we have any confirmed sources on that?
So apparently they have 600,000 Bitcoin worth like 60 billion or whatever. So I read multiple reports. Nothing is confirmed like 100%, but the story is that Venezuela was buying the last few years. So that Bitcoin exists, right? And the country is in great need. Obviously, economically, it's not doing very well, and the U.S. is coming, giving their hand to Venezuela, and of course, that help is going to have some. But you have to get something in return, right? So, what would that be? Trump, on the other hand, is trying to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve or whatever they call it. So, if I was Trump, I would ask for that Bitcoin. No?
Assuming they actually have access. I would be surprised. I think a lot of time in the media, they kind of overestimate the capabilities of the Venezuelan government and people that run the government. Just like they overestimated the capability of the Venezuelan military. And we clearly saw how incapable they are to even do anything. I wouldn't be surprised if those Bitcoins do exist and they have control over it, but it's more likely that individuals within the government collectively own all that Bitcoin rather than, it's in a centralized government custodial wallet or sets of wallets that the government as a whole has ownership of. So it's like everything else in Venezuela. It's
That's definitely a possibility.
The people.
Yeah. And if it's drugs, right? Like the question is like if it was done to drugs and stuff, because the thing is like they had a lot of exposure to like the black markets, and they've had to like evade sanctions for so long. So they know the system, right? Like they definitely have people that know how to create a wallet, put money in a wallet, send it to XYZ, right?
Yeah.
So then the question is like how broken is it, right? And I don't think it's probably centralized, like, and it's a way for them to steal the money in an easy way, right? They're like, hey, pay.
We are live.
Yeah, we are. We are live. Welcome to another episode of Market Buzz. But yeah, this is just a conversation. Leave a comment if you want us to answer a question. We're just chatting. We're just having a conversation. It's not meant to be a proper episode today. It's just market's up and we're trading. Or not trading, but investing. So, but yeah.
All right. So let's go back to the question that got us to go live about thinking about buying oil here, or oil stocks,
or like oil, the commodity, or the stock. It'll be interesting to see which one actually does well.
Buying the oil, the commodity, even though I don't trade commodities, is not a bad level to enter here, right? But oil stocks, like I told you, everything it's expensive considering where the oil price is. ExxonMobil is the one that I'm following. I used to own it. It's like 17 times earnings. It's a bit too expensive for my taste. But if you want to buy oil, the commodity, then yeah. But you are risking going sideways for a little bit. So that's the risk right there. I don't know what you.
Like I think so. Like, well, that was the thing. And Adrian, I would love to get your thoughts on this, right? So usually when you get a recession, even oil drops, right? Because demand gets destroyed. We see issues here. We see problems in the economy. People are not traveling. People are not shipping. People are not moving oil as much, right? So on the one side, we have the AI story that is like, we need as much energy as we can get because right now the grid is maxed out. We have no energy, right? And then on the other hand, we have the prices of oil being at current levels, right? We have natural gas sitting at lows, right? We have gold, gold all-time highs, but it's like that's not energy. It's just oil sitting at $56 a barrel WTI, right? So somebody is telling me something. Somebody on each side either knows something and it's not and it's not being transparent. It's either the demand for oil is coming down or supply is way too much right now. And on the other side, the AI revolution and the need for energy is non-existent here. So what is it, right? It's like, because it's like we should be having access to, well, I guess it's like because we don't have the energy infrastructure, maybe that's going to take a little bit of time for it to catch up. And then that energy infrastructure, but then that means that oil demand is going to go up. In theory.
For natural gas. I mean,
for natural
the majority
gas.
of the generation facilities, it's based on natural gas. But you're spot on. It's more about the infrastructure and not just the generation. So generation plant could take, it takes multiple years, on if it's done efficiently and according to plan to get a facility online. You have to commission it. There's a lot of things and a lot of red tape that you have to get through to actually get it to produce. And then you also have to build out the infrastructure to connect to a grid and to basically transmission lines to get that to wherever it needs to get to, right? As well as distribution lines. So it's, I don't think the demand for AI data centers and demand for electricity increases directly, like increases the price of oil. It will be more natural gas, and it would be with a lag once the infrastructure is there. The other thing, you also have to think about it because with oil, it's very elastic, right? Because there are some rigs right now that are not operating because it doesn't make economic sense to operate. Once you start pushing the price of oil, say above, 65, 70, and it goes back to those levels, there's going to be some rigs that do come online because at that point, it does make sense to start producing. So you may see initial push higher with oil, but once the market sees that, it absorbs that and it's like, okay, let's put online these additional rigs. And then you have a supply shock as well. And eventually it balances out and continue or reverses the trend. But since basically 2022, where it peaked, we have seen a very strong and clear downtrend in oil and WTI. Right now, it's kind of doing a little bit of a double bottom, maybe around this mid 50s level. Maybe we see a double bottom and the reversal, but so far the trend downward trend remains strong. But it might be worth a small gamble there if you want to take on that risk.
And the thing is you might be holding it for a little bit, right? But that's okay, right? Like the thing is like it's either one or the other, right? And I don't see, like we just had CES, so we saw that the AI demand is there, right? We are seeing the energy constraints in parts of America right now, right? I just, man, I don't know. Like I don't know if because it might just, because you might be right on this case, is nat gas, right? Like nat gas might be the trade here. And then potentially, because it's taken a massive beating in the last couple of months too.
Yeah. I think for me, my play it would be a better bet on the oil field services companies after they calm down a little bit. We had this jump in prices because of the Venezuela issue. Now everybody's waking up and saying, okay, this is actually not that big a deal. These guys are not going to be profiting from this anytime soon. I think give it maybe a couple weeks until that price, that reaction stabilizes. And then if you want to have some exposure to oil and gas, I think it makes sense to go with a oil field services company because if there's even if price goes up, right, those are the first companies that start getting contracts to restart production on
Yeah.
rigs that were previously producing, or
Well,
new rigs, right?
yeah. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Crap.
So that's Baker Hughes, Halliburton.
Yeah. So you mean the materials, like the parts, the parts manufacturers.
Right. A lot, those companies are a lot of like contract work, and when you see an uptick in production or just movement in the oil and gas, a lot of these big companies, they don't have staff on hand that just comes on. They go directly to these oil field services companies to get that contract labor fast, and a lot of times with a premium.
Okay,
We
so
saw a
you're saying
spike on Halliburton the other day, like 2 days ago, like
Yeah.
7%. That was that caught my attention. I thought that was related to Venezuela, not really for the US. But yeah, it's a bit the oil trade is a bit more complicated. I was telling Nestor before you joined, Adrian, that we don't have a complete picture what the demand is globally, because the oil is priced globally. The oil price is globally the same, and because of the global demand, but we don't know what the demand is globally. We know in the US, but we don't know in China what they do, because we don't believe their numbers, and we don't know how their economy is doing. We don't know how much oil Russia is pumping and selling, and to whom, and how much. So you have an idea, but you don't know what the demand is and what the supply is on the other hand as well.
Yeah, that is very difficult. It's very, very difficult to kind of put a final number on those. And then, like, because the thing is like, I was speaking to Jorge, and he was like, oh, it's oil demand in Venezuela like 1.1, 1.2. And my dad was like, nope. Like, if we get to 700K barrels a day, barely that, right? So, sort of puts into perspective, it's like, yeah, they're going to try to like sort of build up these numbers and try to give you an idea that everything is better than expected, when the reality could be even worse. Because we were also looking at like Russia, like what's the price of Russian crude, right? And it's sitting probably around 60. It's probably the same price as Brent crude right now. So it's like sitting around $60, right? And then the price cap for the Europeans to buy oil from Russia is 60. So it's like, did it matter? Did it affect? We're seeing some strength in the natural gas, but again.
How's the winter in the US?
The what?
How's the winter this year, Andrea? The winter in the US, is it like a heavy winter? Because that has a lot to do.
I mean, in the south has been pretty mild.
Yeah.
I haven't. You usually get, by this time, you would have seen at least a couple like severe winter storms. I don't think we've had anything this year. But that's not to say that we're gonna get pretty severe winter weather in the next couple months. I think the past 10 years has been a trend where the warmer it is earlier on in winter, usually you get a much colder winter later on, or it extends for a lot longer than expected. So we'll have to see.
Once it hit a couple of snowstorms in the Northeast, it's when the natural gas prices spike up. I remember when I was there, I was in New York, and we're getting those snowstorms, and then your utility bills, they were coming higher and higher, and you're wondering why. Now I know why. At the time, I didn't really get it. But yeah, depending how bad the winter is, has a lot to do with the natural gas prices.
Yeah, one play, taking that into account, might be maybe you want some futures into Q2, and then if you get, based on AI demand and whatever comes to online in terms of infrastructure, that could continue to slowly grind up. But also, if you get, to your point, Dimitris, if you get some sort of severe weather event, that may also be an opportunity to just sell into that strength.
Like the opportunity with the Venezuelan thing, it seemed to be sell. If you were holding oil, you could have sold at a premium, is what I'm thinking, because I just don't think that the impact on this is like it's gonna be quick at all.
What was the premium? The 58 level?
Let's have a look. So crude WTI, like I would say, like the thing is like oil in itself, maybe not, but I'm thinking like Exxon, for example, that had a massive pump and we've
Okay.
given all of that back, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, we
Oh,
touched
Chevron, like
58.
at the peak.
Yeah, Chevron. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But if-
oil itself, if anything, it would go down. But
Yeah.
really, the play there is that U.S. producers that have exposure to Venezuela or could have exposure to Venezuelan market at really good terms, they're the ones that are likely to benefit from that.
Because the thing is like this.
And all the money they lost, all the capital expenditures they had in Venezuela before their exit, assuming they're gonna get some of that back, so they're gonna put them in the books. So assuming everything goes to plan, they can get some of the money back expended before they exit Venezuela, like 2 years back, right? So that's also in play.
Wait, repeat.
So they had some of the oil companies that they were in Venezuela before their exit, they had they spent some money there to develop the wells and develop the infrastructure, and then they exited.
Exactly. Well, they didn't exit; they were made to exit. And then the thing, yeah, some companies left a foothold in there. Some companies let like they made like this like joint ventures with the government, and they are running pretty much skeleton crews in order to like maintain a presence in the case that we could see a shift in government policy, and then they're welcome back. Right?
And Trump said that we're gonna get some of the money back. He wasn't talking about the U.S. government; he was talking about the oil companies.
Well, there's
all the money they spent there, and they were like forced out. They're gonna get it back. Like they're gonna get it back. The way I understood it was, we're going to produce oil, and we're gonna take that oil and sell it, and until we get our money back.
Yeah, well, so apparently Trump said that they were gonna get 50 million barrels from Venezuela. Apparently.
Which I find that funny, because that's not even like a huge amount.
Not at all.
To make headlines. It just show you like people don't really know.
It sounds like
the magnitude of oil production.
It sounds like a large amount to people that have no idea like about the whole thing. But to us, it's like how many tankers are they? Like 50 million barrels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even like 10% of their production.
No. Well, no. Well, how much are they making? They're making 700k barrels a day. So let's say 700,000 divided by 50 million. Let's throw in some numbers here.
A couple of months of work, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing is like right now, one of the biggest issues that Venezuela is having right now is the fact that their storage is getting packed. So this might actually help. Because maybe they don't want to stop the oil fields. That was one of the things we were talking about just before, Dimitris. Is like if they stopped selling and the oil wells are still producing, you're gonna fill up storage. What happens when you have way too much storage? You know, you remember when oil went negative?
Yeah, that was a storage issue. Yeah.
Right. So then it's like this is potentially the same thing in Venezuela, but to very localized place, because it's like, if you have to shut down the wells, this could be very negative for production in the future.
Yeah. So maybe so maybe they were helping themselves by telling Trump, we're gonna give you
50 million. You know, it's like, and they just have like that's a couple of days of production. Like let's say it's like around 75 days of production. How long is the blockade lasted? Big question. I need to get ChatGPT blockade.
And to be honest, 30 to 50 million barrels, it's a good deal to lift the sanctions of Venezuela, if that's the discussion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think sanctions are lifted yet, though, because even this morning, the U.S. seized an oil tanker that was previously running under a Venezuelan flag, then changed to a Russian flag, and that was while there were Russian ships basically witnessing them seizing that tanker.
Hmm.
There are some people that say it's empty. There's no oil in it, but I'm not sure. But the fact that they did seize that ship, it is true and confirmed.
Dang. Yeah, because I heard apparently the Russians were sending a submarine in order to like to escort the ship outside of Venezuelan waters or something. It's like
Yeah.
this is interesting because this then escalates. It's like okay, like who's taking presence here, right? Like it's like will the Russians start like getting involved? Because I understand one thing is what they say, but the other thing is what they do. This is an escalation if they're bringing submarines and equipment
I
to the
don't
shore.
think the Russian military has the capacity to support another conflict on the other side of the
No.
world while they're
And,
in.
when the U.S. this is not they're not fighting like a tiny country, right? They're fighting the U.S. Navy in the earth. So I don't think that is a smart idea. I don't think we're gonna get there.
I think this is similar to remember when Ukraine, when Biden was president, I think the Biden administration will have a lot of they'll bluff a lot, right? Oh, if you do this, we're gonna do that. There's gonna be repercussions. I think what we're seeing is the flip side of that, right? That Russia's saying all this, and then the U.S. just goes ahead and takes the ships. Nothing happens, so you sit pretty. Same with China, right? They say we don't agree with Maduro and all this stuff, but there's a lot more that they could have done if they actually did care about um, what the U.S. did with Maduro.
One thing Trump does well is he draws the red lines in the sand, but if you cross them, then he reacts, right? And he's not like previous administration that they say we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and they did nothing. Trump actually had the balls to do this with Venezuela, which says something to the rest of them that you know what, don't fuck with Trump. Apologies for my language, but uh, and he declared the Western Hemisphere again for the Monroe Doctrine. So I don't think anybody's coming into the Western Hemisphere with submarines.
Unless they're looking for war.
Unless they're looking for a war, and I'm sure Russia doesn't want a war because
Yeah,
they
two
occupied
fronts,
already. Yeah, with one war. But do you know who's a good guy? I don't know if you guys know him. It's an American guy. He talks about geopolitics and demographics and all that. I've been following the guy for many years. His name is Peter Zeihan. You guys know him?
No.
He was on Joe Rogan, and he goes deep into their whole oil thing, like what it takes. Once the well start producing, then it takes a lot of time to get it back on track. So once it start producing, you don't want it to stop. And all the fracking revolution in the early 2010s, that's what collapsed the price. And we are in that kind of phase again, but not with fracking this time, but with OPEC increasing the supply so much, trying to get the little guys out of the picture. And then we get again into a new bull market because it was the oil in the early, what was it like before the financial crisis? It went up to the 120, and then the financial crisis came, and then it collapsed. And then we went up again. And then when it went up again, then everyone saw that there's money in oil. Then they discovered fracking, which for the people that don't know it was a new method that all the wells that they supposedly dried out, they had some small deposits up on the wells, and somehow with a lot of water and all that, you were able to recoup some of that. Am I saying the right, Adrian?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
probably
You
know more.
basically pump it sometimes with like saline solutions or other chemicals to stimulate the well and then bring that pressure back up.
Yes. So whatever you thought that well was dried up, there more oil came out of that, and that's what created a lot of supply, and then again another oil collapse, and then until a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, oil was trading around $100, and here we are today. So oil goes through cycles, ups and downs. So if you want to buy oil here, maybe it's a good uh, it's a good place to enter a position, but not for the oil companies because they are valued quite expensive at this time. I was trying to make a point, but I got lost in my own.
One point to make on that, right? So when we had that shale revolution, one difference there is that those wells, so they have a very fast declining curve. And what that means is that when you do stimulate a well and you start fracking, the production usually peaks around like the first 2 years, and then it declines. And then after the 5 years, for the most part, that well is like depleted. That's different than Venezuela, because in Venezuela, it's heavy crude. In the U.S., usually that fracking, what you get a lot of is gas, and then the oil happens to be more of a byproduct of that entire process. So 2 points there. One point is it'll take longer time for that to come online. And then it's a different, what you're getting from the ground is a lot different. I think I would say gas actually might be a little bit more protected from a supply shock if we're just talking about the Venezuelan thing. In Venezuela, it's mostly heavy crude.
Yeah, like they still have like gas production, because I know that my father was working on like a Maturin field. That was like the reason Shell was there, was a humanitarian project to provide gas for like the people of the community and stuff. So they were just able to get enough to be able to sort of like provide that and like keep the people alive in a sense, right? But apparently this field is burning massive amounts of gas too. It's like they're just burning it because there's no way that they can actually store it, keep it, move it, anything. That's one of the big ones. Also, another point that you guys were talking about was the, which I want to sort of like go back to, is the freaking, so we were talking about like small, like, it's like the big companies cannot make a profit, right? Because their burn rate is way too high for them to take a low producing well. So usually they get sold to like smaller companies, right? Phillips 66, ConocoPhillips. They come in, and Adrian was talking about it. These are contract. Like they get small contracts on wells that are still producing, but they're producing less. But because they're running such smaller crews, they're able to kind of come in and sort of make a profit on that. Now the question would be like, who gets the license to produce in Venezuela? And would we see just like the big companies saying we're going back to Venezuela, or would we say, hey, it's open market, anybody can go to Venezuela and produce? So that would be the smaller names in this case that could benefit from potential that. But that's like, but again, that's down the line. That's way down the line.
But even in that situation, right? You could be like the big name oil producer and have the leases, and then you can just sublease or contract out the smaller players.
Yeah.
But even if the licenses go to the big players, there's no reason why other smart players can also benefit through subleasing or subcontracting.
Okay. Yeah.
Are they doing any Bitcoin mining in Venezuela?
They were doing it for a while. I remember that stuff being the story, right? Like the thing is like the big story in Venezuela, it was funny because Trump said, oh, we managed to cut down the energy. And it's funny because Venezuela has had like power outages since I can remember. So it's like, I don't think it's American excellence, it's just Venezuelan negligence. We're just not invested in the power grid. So this is a normal recurring thing in Venezuela.
No, that's not a Venezuela thing. That's a socialist thing. Because if you have to let the free market work out, you have to let the producer sell to the consumer. If you get in the middle, then you're going to have power outages in a country that basically has the more energy of them all, which is ridiculous, right? They should be having like energy for free with the kind of energy they have under their
Well,
feet.
we did for
But
a while. Like we used to pay nothing for gas, right? And it was funny because we didn't actually refine any of the oil. But gas in Venezuela was, you gave the tip you gave the guy was what you paid for the gas. You know, it's like the guy that puts gas in your car. There's just a guy sitting there, and then you give him a tip. That was
I think
bigger
it's
than
so
what you had to
cheap,
pay.
no? They still have the subsidies in place.
They still have the subsidies, but I don't think they're as high anymore. And like the thing is like the problem with the subsidies is that you just don't have enough. Right? Because
essentially they're sending unrefined crude, but then they're importing gasoline. They're losing money.
Correct.
Yeah, refining is it's a sophisticated
of course
thing to do. Not all countries do refining.
Yeah.
You know, another comment that I haven't mentioned is looking at who has the infrastructure to do that refining of Venezuelan crude oil.
The Americans.
But also most of that is actually up like down. I'm in Houston, right? So it's down here in the Houston Ship Channel, Freeport, and so on. So it'll be good to do a little bit of research into who owns these facilities that have the capability to refine the Venezuelan crude without much changes.
That'll be interesting actually, because let me, if you guys I can actually stream this. I'll show you, because like it's interesting who's up today. Now that we have time to digest the news and digest the data, there is green in the oil sector, right? Is those Valero Energy Corp, Phillips 66, Marathon Petroleum Corporation, which are the oil and gas refining and marketing. And then you have the oil and gas midstream, which is William Cost is up at 1.7, Kinder Morgan, and a couple more. You know, but it's interesting. And then you have like Expand Energy. I have no idea who they are. And then EQT Corp, oil and gas exploration. So there's a couple of names that are actually holding their rally, even though they've come down substantially. ConocoPhillips is down too, right? So it's like, yeah.
Exxon is down, right?
Yeah. Exxon is down. Chevron is down. What's Shell doing? I know that Shell, their production right now is mostly gas. Shell is down too. Could be a good. Wonder what Shell. Oh, you're looking for a cheap PE? You're looking for a cheap PE, Dimitris? Shell is looking appetizing here.
Well, is it a good company?
Shell OP.
Right?
No, Shell OP. Shell is massive. Shell is one of the big ones. $203 billion market cap.
See.
So that's interesting. I'll write it down. I might actually.
It's not exactly cheap, but cheap in the single digits.
True, but if we look at the forward PE and they're expecting, like, if we're expecting natural gas to continue to go up because demand is going up, blah 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 blah, this could be an interesting one.
I cannot take the forward PE the way I'm taking the forward PE.
Yeah. But the thing is like, yeah, but what if the oil price goes up? If the oil price goes up, it's pure profit.
Yeah, but you don't have, like, this is what we were discussing before. You don't have a clear picture, like who is doing well, whose economy is doing well, whose economy is cooking the numbers, and all that. That has a direct effect on oil. One thing that we got last month, I think, during the Thanksgiving weekend, it was the one-day all-time high traveling to airports in the U.S., which was like 3 million people, like on a single day. It's
Mhm.
like 1% of the population got on an aeroplane in a single day, which says that the economy is doing well, the consumer is spending, right? Because during a recession, the first thing that goes is traveling. The first
Yeah.
thing that people cut during a recession is traveling, and then restaurants, and then it goes cruises and all that. But that's at all-time high, which is good for the U.S. economy. But it is not just the U.S. economy that you need to see in order to make a prediction where oil will go. You have to know what China is doing, and you can get the truth from China. And then Europe is a entirely different story. Uh, now that we say Europe, all the natural gas is going from the US to Europe through LNG. So perhaps you guys are right. The natural gas perhaps is the trend here, not oil.
Like natural gas is for energy production. You know, companies like GE Vernova, they make the turbines, but the turbines take forever. Like they take years to develop. Natural. And then if we see, then we could see a transition from natural gas being low right now. We're seeing a build out, and then the build out comes. We don't increase production in natural gas. Natural gas stay the same because I don't think I don't think we are investing in more output, either in oil or in gas at current prices.
So if I understand correctly, the natural gas is the first product that you get before you get to oil, right?
Mm, mm.
Like for a long time, people were getting the natural gas, they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Can you ask ChatGPT? I want to make sure I'm not talking out of my.
We need to get ChatGPT on the call. Get ChatGPT on the call.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I want
I
to
think
ask Andrew.
not necessarily. It depends
saying-
I
on.
think it's different pockets. Like some places don't have gas, but I don't know. I don't know.
And the other thing is you need to have the ability to capture that gas. Like Nestor was mentioning in Venezuela, right? They're flaring a lot of that gas because it's a byproduct when you extract oil. If you don't have pipelines to transport that gas, you have no option but to put it in the atmosphere.
And that's polluting. That's crazy pollution. So you burn it, and then the pollution is in theory zero, because they say natural gas is green.
Yeah,
It is green. It is. Listen, in the U.S., the natural gas comes to your house, and your heating is automatically set up, and you don't have to do anything. In other countries, you have to go and buy like the gas tank and take it to your house. It's a different setup. So if you're sanctioned, you can't sell it anyway to anybody else but yourself, and you don't have the infrastructure to distribute it to the households. Then you can't do anything without it. Then you just release it in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a differentiation there, right? So you have your transmission infrastructure. So the biggest ones in the U.S. flow through the south, basically from Houston, Louisiana, all the way up to the northeast. I mean, there's multiple in different directions. Those are the pipelines that are used to transport gas from production of ports um, to wherever it needs to be consumed. Right. That's why you always see differential of the price of gas, say in Houston or Louisiana compared to the Northeast. It's more expensive to
Mhm.
get it up there to take that
Yeah,
into account. Right. You can use pipelines. You can use LNG, but that it's not really cost effective unless you're moving it to Japan or you're moving it to Europe where they're willing to pay for that premium because they really have no other option. So unless you have those two spot in place there, then it really doesn't matter. Even if you are producing that gas, if you don't have that infrastructure to get it to the place where you're gonna sell it, you basically just put it into the atmosphere.
that's what they do in Venezuela, perhaps. Right.
Yeah.
By the way, are you in Houston?
Yeah, I'm in Houston, and just for background, so I'm a consultant in the energy space. I work with like gas and electric utilities, and previously worked with in oil and gas,
Well,
just like the
I was
rest of
going
my
to ask
family.
I was going to ask you something irrelevant. Are you watching football?
The what?
Are you watching the NFL football?
Oh yeah, the Texans. We've won like
Don't-
I don't know how many in a row.
Are you really a Texans fan?
I'm not really. I'm a bandwagon fan. Only when they start winning, I start caring.
All right. I was just curious to. I thought maybe you're a Cowboys fan.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Man. Yo, Adrian, what are you doing tomorrow 1 hour before market open?
Sleeping.
Do you wanna have a conversation? Because we're gonna have this same conversation, but with my dad, which was working the oil fields and the gas fields in
Oh, that'd be
Venezuela.
good to get a
Yeah.
true expert's opinion.
Yeah. So we want to get the idea of how long would it take, how long, like what's the current state of affairs in Venezuela, like because my dad was working in the gas fields until like a couple of years ago
In Venezuela, right?
in Venezuela. Yeah.
There you go.
So
Hear
yeah,
it from the horse's mouth, as they say.
correct. So that's the thing. It's like a couple of people are getting really like, well, the initial move was like really bullish, and it was just like, yo, like there's so much you don't know. It's like. It's like my dad has worked with PDVSA, he has worked with like the la contratistas, so it's like the contract people and all that stuff in Venezuela. So he knows what the major issues are. How long would it take to potentially to like, let's say you set up a plan. He worked in Malaysia as a pipeline engineer, so he has a little bit of knowledge on this for sure.
You guys, I was looking at the price of natural gas and like did a little bit of TA on it. I mean, it looks like it has bottomed and it has reversed, since 2024, essentially. Even, last year in December, late November, early December, it peaked at like over $5.
Yeah,
Now it's
this
back
was in
down to
December.
3.
This was a couple of months ago. So I'm super surprised at the fact that we see this decline drastically. It's
I
like,
don't know,
okay, that
maybe that is a play. Some natural gas futures.
get shipped natural gas to your house. You forget to close the contract. God dang it. Because I was looking and I think it's UNG is the ETF that tracks it.
Wow. That one looks rough too.
Yeah.
I was looking at Henry Hub futures, so the chart looks a bit different. But even this chart, I mean, it doesn't look that great, but it does look like it's finding a bottom.
I mean, we went back to what? To the 200 day. We touched the 200 day. We're under it. We potentially, if we recover the 200 day, this could potentially go up. I mean, we are coming off we still have winter to go ahead. So
Yeah, it's true. I might actually go on this.
Let's go. Let's go. But what are you trading? Are you gonna buy the futures, or are you gonna trade you're gonna trade the commodity or the ETF?
I would do the futures.
I would go for the ETF. But the thing is just because I don't want to. I'm still not into the futures. I would do options on it though. So I wonder how much would the options be on UNG. I wonder if they have options.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That UNG, right?
Yeah, natural gas.
It probably gets split every couple of years.
Yeah.
Like I don't know too much about that specific ETF, but if you zoom out from that chart, it's straight down. But that may be just splits. I don't know.
Look. So the United States Natural Gas Fund. Let's have a look. By the way, you can see what I'm streaming, but then you see it on a delay. I can stream that. I can stream it. I'll show you the charts. Where's my Discord? I'm sharing. I think. Yeah. Sharing? Should you be able to see?
Yeah.
So right, this is the same chart we're seeing, right? And then we're seeing it's like, so they have, I think the top holdings are natural gas futures for February 26, 78%, and then they have US dollars. And they have offsets on the derivatives, Morgan Stanley liquidity government bonds.
Yeah, I mean, so they're just buying.
So it's
the
just futures.
for you.
Yeah, it's just the 27. They just do the futures, but they deal with it, and you don't get delivered. I would assume.
I mean, most platforms don't allow you to settle physically.
Yeah. There's a couple that do. Like, there's a couple that are like, you have to actually sign it before, and you have to say, I want you to sell the contract. Just imagine, it's like, where do you want to send it? What do you mean? Yeah, we'll have 100 barrels.
Can you zoom
for you.
out on that chart that you have?
Which one? This one here?
The price chart, yeah. Zoom out. Maybe like the best, yeah. Yeah, so that's what I mean. So it's kind of hard to figure out what it's doing.
It's difficult because, like, if it's like, I would assume that there is cost and fees associated with this, right?
Yeah.
So you see in
So
volume,
for
like,
long-term hold.
it's probably not a thing. Yeah, like you're probably, yeah, like look at this, right? Like now there was a split here. So it's sort of, yeah, it's difficult to say. It probably tracks it on the daily, or probably, you know, it's like, and a month to month, you have, like, if you have to buy futures every month, there has to be some some carry loss.
Yeah.
No. Because this is like, if you look at a bubble chart, 2025, we bubble. We're like, gas goes to the moon, then it drops. We go back to the mean. We're going back to lows, and then it's, for some reason in December we go drastically down in the price of gas, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I think it might correlate with the decline in tech stocks, like AI stocks.
You
possibly.
think? You want to?
The narrative are we have too much data center capacity, or people getting a little bit scared on, you know, is this a bubble? Is it popping?
I mean,
your typical.
Like, it was during November, so this was still rallying, and then December. What are the odds of a ceasefire in Ukraine and Russia?
Maybe that too. Look up. Okay, can you put the chart of the actual futures?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is gonna give you, but yeah, this is better. This is better. But it's still, look, it's still crazy. Look at this. Like, it's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, damn. Such a massive.
And
like,
I think
because this was,
if you look at the seasonality, you usually see a pickup in price during the winter months. So just look at, you know, the start of each year. You're gonna see a small run up. But here this year we had a run up early in November, but now we're back to the previous levels.
Look at this. So 2023 December, BAP. Then we have vertical line. Let's get 2024 December, January 3rd. Bam. It goes up a bit. Okay. And then 2025. So these are the years. Then
looks like last year we also had like a
little pump.
You know,
yeah.
First pump, dip, and another pump.
Oh,
previous year.
There's options. There's options on UNG. Let's say the end. That's not crazy. It's a 5%.
Even 2022, you see the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it was only 2023. When was the war started? On
2022.
Bam. So this rally is because of the natural gas issues then that Russia caused. Because all of a sudden you had to cut gas And then we saw it coming down because the Americans stepped in.
I wouldn't be
Write that down.
surprised if one of those peaks coincide with the explosion of the pipeline from Russia to EU.
Oh, let's get the date. Let's get the date.
Yeah, that happened later. In the beginning, the pipeline was working just fine, and Europe was getting natural gas, no problem. And then Trump had an issue with it.
No, it
The
was
Nord Stream.
spontaneous. Nobody
September-
knows what happened, Dimitris.
So yeah, of course, nobody knows what happens. But at the beginning, remember that it was like a head scratch. Like, okay, they're fighting, but and Europe is sanctioning Russia, but they're getting natural gas.
Yeah.
And
So
then
it was September. This tells me it was September 26, 2022. And when
It was
was
after it peaked, huh?
Yeah, it was after.
That's
And then we actually went lower. So it was potentially when they secured the. Let me have a look. When did the war start?
well, it started January.
24th of
22.
February. 24th of February.
February. Okay.
Apparently, I don't know. Gemini. Everything has to be corroborated. 24 here. Bam. Yeah, there you go. So the 24th of February, boom. It took around 1, 2, 3 months for the price to peak. Now that's interesting. That's
I think
interesting.
that the summer dip might be caused by lower demand in the US, or I guess the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, the seasonality. Yeah. That's interesting though, because then you see like, could we have talked about when did I need to get drawing on this chart. I want to get the Biden era.
You know what will be interesting also to look at? The price of natural gas at a Europe port and in Japan.
Like consumption?
No, because so the way natural gas price is depending on where it's at or where it's delivered, you have different prices.
Yeah, okay. So landed price is different.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's
Right.
why I mean, like, LNG is so expensive to like build out and even to operate, because you're basically freezing the gas so you can
Make
have
it
a lot
liquid.
more volume. Yeah.
And then shipping it across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe.
Yeah.
You know, this is interesting. This chart comes with Finviz, and it's like apparently the green line is commercial hedgers, and then large traders is the red line, and then small traders is the blue line, which is usually around 0. So it's like around May. Let's have a look. May, you see spikes a little. A bunch of traders got hurt. Large traders got hurt on.
You know that most people get killed in the oil trades, right?
Yeah. That's where the cowboys are made.
Like if you ask people how they got hurt, like trading, they will tell you like in oil. It's so difficult.
I have
So
been hurt in oil. I have been hurt in oil.
I know quite a few people that got hurt in oil because it's so much that you don't know, so much uncertainty, and you're trying to trade it.
I mean, that's a cup and handle. Wait, no, that's not the date. No. It's a
Are
cup
we
and
all
handle.
in on natural gas?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I would be down to take take a position on on natural gas right now? I mean, like the volume is not like the volume is dropping drastically here. Like a little options trade, like lose the $500
I mean, it's down 31% in the
from the
past month.
peak. Yeah. Right? Like even if we get just like relief rally on that.
Okay, you convinced me.
Crap. Welcome to another episode of Market Buzz.
I mean, all I need is some cold weather.
That's it.
You know,
and you know where
a
it's
nice
really
winter storm.
cold? And you know where it's really cold? The UK. The UK is cold. I don't know if the rest of Europe is cold, but the UK is like, it's been nasty the last couple of days.
It has been always been cold in the UK. What are you talking about?
No. Not like this. Not like this.
We went to London in September and I was freezing.
Yeah, but you live in the beach. Like London was fine last year. London was fine last year.
It was like 9 degrees, and I brought the wrong clothes with me.
So now you have to ask ChatGPT to help you forecast what the weather is going to be like in the next 2 months, 3 months.
Let's have a look.
Look at
How long have you been to Houston, Andrea?
I've been here for 13 years. Huh?
So you were there when the big storm came and all the city was flooded? You were there?
Yep. I was here. I was trapped in the house for a little bit. No water came into the house, but I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I remember that. I was in the US when that happened. Yeah, that was
crazy. 2017.
Okay,
2017 it was?
I'll pay $70 a contract.
I just bought a couple futures contracts. Oh, I should have bought longer than February though.
I'm buying January 30th.
Oh,
Calls. They're cheap. They're
so
$50.
If you go to what's interesting, the gap between the futures contracts between February, which are at 350, in March they dropped all the way down to 290.
Which one?
Natural gas futures contracts.
This is the index.
So
the
for some reason, price, like there's an expectation of might this be an indicator of economic decline expected?
That's the thing. You know what I mean? It's like oil is telling me that we should have a recession. You know the reason I didn't think the recession was like warranted in 2022 at the end of 2022? Because oil was high. What was oil doing at the end of 2022? Look at this. At the end of 2022, oil crap.
Yeah, but always
No, oil took a shit.
We didn't have a recession in 22. That was a bear market.
Yeah. But that was the thing. We had a bear market and oil was like high. So that was the thing. I was like, this makes no sense.
No, because the bear market is in the stock market. The recession is in the economy. So it's different. Like one can happen without the other. But I think it's a supply. I think it's a supply thing. Too much supply in the system. And even though the economy is, at least the US and Europe is strong, they are strong, the supply is too much, and that's on purpose. That's the OPEC trying to get the little guys out of business, and then boom, we are back in an oil bull market. That's my case.
And I mean that also aligns for me because I do think they're close to either Q1 or close to the end of Q1 or early Q2. I think we're gonna see a correction across the board for assets, including kind of your safe haven metals like gold and silver.
Have you guys ever traded like pork bellies?
I've traded orange juice. Apparently, who made her money with orange juice? Hillary Clinton? The Clintons made their money with orange juice.
I don't know, but uh, there are people that trade like orange juice and wheat
Yeah.
and pork
Man,
bellies and all
cocoa.
that.
I
And-
did soybeans for a little bit. But you need to understand the market. You need to understand what's going on in terms of the
dynamics.
weather.
The weather, yeah,
Farmers.
it's far more complicated than companies, and you get the. I mean, and Nvidia, you know what they're selling and to whom, and what the supply is, what the capabilities, and what the you know all that, and you make a decision. Trying to guess what the weather does in Brazil and trade it is
Yeah.
not. It's not an.
But it's crazy that we're saying that like microchips, like the development on AI microchips is simpler than farming. You know what I
No,
mean?
the development is not simpler, but the market, the
Of
buyers
course.
and the sellers are. Yeah.
It's more followed. You know what I mean? Like you're not like
Yes. Yes.
we also don't follow. You know, like
Which you could argue you might have more opportunities in the market that is not as saturated with traders.
With more
at
risk,
least
of course.
there are traders that understand. Like there are traders. Like this markets are massive. These futures markets are.
No, but I mean, like your typical retail trader or investor, whatever you want to call them, they're more likely to be in Nvidia, Micron.
Correct. Well,
These tech companies,
there's more
right?
liquidity for sure. Like I wonder how much liquidity moves the gas market. I imagine it's a lot, but was there wasn't there like a guy that ended up like I think he was drunk and he dropped the price of oil by $2 one time and he was just drunk and he like
Oh, he fat
misclicked.
fingers.
Yeah, he fat fingered and
Yeah,
he
fat
like
finger, the fat finger, yeah.
yeah, and the price was like nuts and it went down crazy and like this was like a massive scandal in London.
Yeah, that was a JP Morgan guy.
I think so.
What happened
The
to
guy
that guy? Did he get fired?
I think he got fired. I think he's not allowed to trade anymore.
No, I think he. So the story I know, I don't know if it's the same story, but the JP Morgan guy made a mistake and cost like the company like $500 million or whatever, and they did not fire him. He said, okay, now he learned his lesson. He's not going to do that again.
No, he got promoted to VP
To VP, yeah.
and got a nice bonus.
And the other guy, I think in college, I remember teaching us another guy bought oil in the futures market and he did not sell it. And then he had to
Got
take delivery.
deliveries.
Yeah, had to take a delivery. Yeah, and it was like a massive amount. He like a tanker like turned back and went to find him. So yeah, it's funny.
Well, guys,
So-
I'm already up on my natural gas position. So
am I up? No, I'm flat.
thanks for that trade.
Nice. Start of the year. I'm feeling it. I don't know. I'm feeling the nat gas here. I mean, like it's so beat up.
I actually just sold because I mistakenly bought
You
February
fat fig-
futures instead of March. So I sold that for a profit and then moving them over to March.
Like volume is starting to pick up in markets. That's for sure. December was so low in volume. Everywhere, it's crazy. Like if you look at the December dip, it was significant. So either a lot of people took a lot of profits or insane. Market's recovering today, eh?
Yeah.
A little bit. Well, the ADP data was good.
It didn't come in a little soft.
A little soft. Yeah, but that's good because it puts the market in, like, it's like, oh, the unemployment continues to be the biggest risk. Inflation is fine. And then it sort of supports the Fed cutting. I'm telling you, they're going to cut in January. Dimitri, what'd you say? They're going to cut?
I said no.
I say they cut.
I said no only because not because we're not going to get enough cuts this year, but if they start cutting from January, then the expectations of the market is going to be like 5 cuts in 26. And
Yeah.
Right now we're pricing in what? Three cuts? 2 cuts? 3 cuts?
3, I say between 3 and 4, like 100 basis points in 26. I think inflation is going to be lower than expected. I think all the estimates the Fed gave us, they were a bit conservative. So yeah, I think we're going to get more cuts than the market expects, or at least like 3 cuts. But we're not going to start in January. That's my case. If we get, then I'm not going to be surprised if we do, but I think we won't. And this is the first real CPI that we're going to get, because the previous one, it was a bit fishy. I didn't take it 100%.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting one, and it's also in the December, which is seasonality, which exactly you don't know what you're looking at. So it will be interesting next week. Next week we're going to have a handful.
Well, this week, Friday, we have the unemployment. I think that's gonna come in.
No. Yeah, but CPI is on the 13th, right?
Yeah. But I don't think CPI is the biggest problem right now. Look at oil. Look at all the. Well, the one thing is they're saying is like January. I think all the commodities went up. Let me have a look. All the commodities went up on the last couple of days. I think. No. I think.
Commodities as in metals.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of flat, kind of.
Right.
It came up yesterday, and then
yeah. So natural gas is down on the week. Heating oil is down on the week. Lumber, crude oil, and then what was up? It was like soybeans, wheat, cattle, cocoa, coffee.
Is this weekly?
Yeah, 1 week performance. So this is the week.
Take this with a grain of salt because we had a big drop a week ago. It depends on where you draw that. That kind of.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. And then you have like orange juice. Damn.
68%
in a month.
Why is nobody talking about orange juice?
Orange juice, right? I'm telling you, the market don't. You gotta link the whole market. Money's going somewhere in December.
And I thought I was smart by being in silver. Look at that.
I'm platinum. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Orange juice, the story nobody's talking about.
I wonder why.
Well, they had a good harvesting season in Florida.
Yeah, because he's being beat up. I think it was beat up. I have an emergency hedging. Let me have a look if I have orange. So, I don't have orange juice. I have corn. So mad. Yeah, orange juice took a massive hit 2025. Damn. Maybe orange juice is the trade. What? This is crazy.
I mean, honestly, that might not be a bad short here. It's running into resistance. And then, if it gets above that moving average, you might be able to use stop loss there.
Yeah, RSI is RSI is hitting the highs. Volume was really low, but picking up again. So this actually could continue to the upside. I mean, volume is picking up. This could break. Let's go down and break. Interesting. What's straight sugar? Let's have a look at sugar. We started with oil. Now we're looking at sugar.
At least we stay. At least we stay in the commodities space.
Yeah. I do it true. The
We didn't
story.
go from oil to crypto.
It's crazy how the M moves, eh? Likes to move. Yep, I'm up. I'm up 5% on my contracts. Let's go. To the moon and beyond. I'll sell. That's the thing I
I'm
like about
strong
options.
What?
That the downside is limited. The downside is always what you put in the contract. So that's as much as you can lose. You get it wrong, good. That's okay.
Nestor, what's your target, or at what point will you reduce the Tesla calls? Maybe that's
I'll probably hold it. I don't know. I have it until February 20th. If we see a rally after the data, if not, I'll just lose the money. It's like I bought 2 contracts. I didn't buy a lot. I have like $400. It's not a lot. Like I'm willing to either let it go and we get a massive bounce on Elon, like a massive lot Elon Lotto, or I'm willing to go to zero on it. You know. Because like I think like I sold some of my positions, so this is a pure profit play from a 2x Tesla trade that I did.
Mm.
You know, so it's okay. I'm gonna.
What's the story on Tesla?
They've just been getting beat up, and on the CES showed all of the advancements in everybody else. This is like in Optimus and the other robots from Western no, we're not Western Digital, Boston Dynamics, and all of that. So it took a little bit of the breath from Elon's promises. Like, oh, like if you don't do it quick, you're gonna get you're gonna get stopped up by everybody else, because like Elon has competition everywhere. Google is competition, Nvidia is competition, Samsung is competition, like everybody. So you know, they go run into problems if you maybe make X amount of robots, but if everybody else is making robots, then you just join the commodities market. And the robot
Gentlemen,
from
let
Boston.
you guys go.
Okay.
I'm letting you guys. I have to go to the gym. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Yes.
And
Very nice chat.
we'll do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do this tomorrow before the market open.
I'm game. Yeah, if you want to join, Adrian, more than happy to have you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever
we're gonna do the same. We're gonna do the same discussion, but on camera.
Yeah, and we're gonna get my dad on it too, because I want to touch on a couple of things just to put everything into perspective. Because
we're gonna have a glass of scotch tomorrow. Should I get ready for that? A
little scotch? It's too early. I'm gonna have it later.
It's too early for you guys.
I know. I'd be down though. I'd be so down. Oh man.
All right, gentlemen. I will talk to you in a little bit.
Have a good one.
If you guys are still on after the gym, I'm going to join again.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be here. I mean, there's not much I have to do.
After the gym, I'm probably going to do a trade on eToro.
What are you going to buy? What are you going to buy so I can buy it and raise the price for you?
Yeah, I was going to buy yesterday at the market close, but I was like, you know what? Let me see how it opens tomorrow, and then it went further down today. So
eToro? You're buying eToro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at if I buy options on eToro, I'll be the market maker. It's like there's no volume on the options.
Yeah?
Yeah, no volume whatsoever. So, interesting.
Interesting,
eToro
yeah.
trade. eToro trade. Let's grab eToro and divide it by Robinhood. See the
How about Novo? How about Novo? Since the day I picked it up as my pick on MarketPlace, it's been going crazy, dude.
It's going crazy. It is.
It's gone crazy.
I'm up 26% of that trade. It's crazy. You got it right. And my pick took a massive hit today. For solar, took a 10% hit today.
And you know what else I got right on that day? You asked me, and I said I'm not getting into tech except I might get into Amazon. Amazon has been doing well too.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. Amazon, like the laggers.
The laggers, yeah.
For sure. And then for solar, like they cut down because apparently there's no visibility. Which with the natural gas prices like these levels and the oil prices at these levels scares me. Because it's like solar has to compete with everybody else that produces energy. So
yeah, when you have cheap energy,
yeah,
is it worth like?
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
Correct. It disincentivizes. It does the opposite.
Yeah, you go long on renewables, then you go short and you go long with natural gas.
Yeah. So
Cleveland Cliff.
Tricky. It's funny because they say it's like industrials say the industrial story tells you that visibility is like the best it's ever been in a really long time. And then they're starting to say that energy visibility is not there. But if you have the industrials and you need to sort of meet demand on the data centers, why is it not there? It's weird. There's like conflicting narratives right now, and I don't like it. Like, it's like I don't like it. There's conflicting narratives here. But okay. I'll let you go, Dimitri.
All right, gentlemen. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit if you're still up in an hour or so.
Man.
All right, bye.
The eToro trade, the eToro one is interesting. Taking a massive at the lows.
What's the eToro trade? Oh, I see.
Like eToro, the chart, yeah.
Yep.
eToro, the stock. I'm surprised they're so hurt. Volume has increased, right? They IPO'd recently. They IPO'd last year. But it's like have you ever used Moomoo or Webull?
I know what it is, but I've never used it.
It's like Webull. They IPO'd and they boomed like crazy. There was like their float in the markets was very low. So they ended up like booming like crazy. Webull Corporation. Then they IPO'd and they went to like $80, and then they just went back down. Same price.
Crazy.
The enterprise value is $2 billion. The market cap is $4 billion. That means that they have what, $2 billion in cash? It's in bank. But eToro makes money.
It's fees, right?
Yeah, it's mostly fees, spreads, all of these different avenues they have, right? And then, but they make money. Like they make 200 million, and they're worth 3 billion. Enterprise value 1.65.
BlackRock dropped today.
Yeah.
I don't know if significant, but Trump just announced that he's banning large corporate, or he's asking Congress to introduce a bill to ban large corporations from buying single family homes.
Blackstone down 6%. Is that because of that?
Yeah, I mean, I believe they're the single biggest buyer of single family homes, at least in the U.S. Let me fact check myself.
No, they are pretty big. They're pretty big.
But a lot of, at least in Texas, that's already been, that was a new law that passed. But one of the issues with, especially in California, with housing is that, yeah, prices are so expensive, and a lot of it is institutional investors that are used buying these properties, and because they are like rental laws that they don't even want to deal with that, so they just basically sit on those properties empty.
Yeah. And then that's why rental prices, because they prefer not to decrease the rental pricing because that would that would reevaluate the price of the property.
Yeah.
So they prefer not to rent it out or give like a month of discount or month to 2 months of discount, but not reduce the rental price. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty nuts.
But BlackRock has so much lobbying power. Actually, it's true.
Huh.
Hey, I also have to drop. I have to drop for a meeting.
All right, no worries. No worries. Later. No worries. Yeah. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all.
Natural gas. I'm up.
Me too. I'm up 12% on that trade. I should have bought more.
That's what we always say, right?
I always, but I'm happy. Yeah, it was a small trade because I wanted to just like dip my toes on it, just to pay attention more than anything else, because I've never traded natural gas.
All right. Talk later.
Definitely. Bye. You can't hear me? You should be able to hear me. I'm just not talking. You can't hear me? That would suck. That would suck because I've been live for a while. How you doing, man? How you doing? Oh, dude. Oh, I'm so tired. Yeah, we were just having a chat on the oil trade. How you doing? Yeah, you're in Calgary. Do you have anything to do with oil? Karen? Are you still in Calgary? This is a weird day. Man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm alive. Everything else is profit. Everything else is profit. I was just chatting with a couple of friends. Yeah, we're talking oil. We have an episode tomorrow, so we're just prepping for that. Yeah, with the Venezuelan thing too, potentially we see a slowdown in Canadian oil. That's gonna take a while. What have you been up to? I'm chatting while looking at markets. Do you have my Discord? You know you can just jump on the Discord. I don't know how busy you are. Because yeah, you were doing human resources by the end. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking oil. We're trying to figure out what the Venezuelan situation is creating in the oil opportunity, and the reality is that not really. We have an an episode. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. But yeah, we have an episode tomorrow with my dad, trying to like understand. Then we were talking about it today, and then we just entered a natural gas trade. So that was fun. Nice. I was probably gonna like step away, but I'll probably stay on. It'll be interesting to get a couple of cameras in here, and then like I wanted to like start live streaming. Yeah, it's tomorrow, 1 hour before market open. But we're probably gonna grab it and like edit it up and break it down into more eatable content, I guess, in a sense. I mean, yeah, it's dry content. It's just gonna be like oil production and what does it matter? How long would it take for the production in Venezuela to pick up? Would the sanctions have they been working? And so yeah, there's a couple of points. Yeah, but we've been going. The thing is do you have access to the market bus? Because we have 2 channels now. If you're interested, we have I have two. Well, there's 2 channels. I do Scotch and Stocks, but Scotch and Stocks I just haven't had any content. I'm just streaming because I had to stream before I do streaming in the other place, and then I have Market Bus stuff. If you look Market Bus YouTube, you'll find it. Here, so market. This one here. It's doing well. I'm super happy. This was like yesterday, like last year's growth. I'm super happy. Market Bus. I'll send it. I'll share the. Yeah, you're in Market Bus. Are you? So confused. 558. Let's go. Yeah, I have a couple of. I'm doing it with a couple of friends from eToro. They're also popular investors and stuff, and they've been each have their expertise and stuff. We've been doing good. We've been doing good. A couple of views here and there, Yeah. It's been a fun one. It's been a fun time. Here we go. Cryptos. Yeah. It's been good. We've had some really good calls. Freaking Demetrius is beating me. I'm not happy. That doesn't make me happy. I mean, it makes me happy he's making money. And I'm also making money, which is great. But it's like this is my pick for this year. I think they just got a downgrade today, which is sad. They took a massive hit since the start of the year. It's here. Down over. And then if we compare, he chose Novo Nordisk. Oh, Novo Nordisk, and he since the start of 20. So sad. I was doing better. Here, yeah. I was beating him for like a day, but then he's now beating me. And then we have Mimi's pick. I think even Timothy's beating. Oh, up again. I just took a massive hit. And then Pepsi. Oh, Pepsi's gonna. Oh, that's gonna. Oh, even Pepsi's beating. So sad. Oh no, no. That's there. That's the update. So I'm losing on my top pick of the year. It's not my biggest position, but I do believe in them that they're gonna. I think this cycle picks up. Oh, To get the cameras in, because I want to have one camera looking at me. I want to have another camera looking at a whiteboard I have. Oil future. Well, there was news on the Venezuelan. I should have seen. Trump signed something in an hour and a half. You gotta get that sorted. Why is the 30-year bond? This is weird. 30-year boat goes up. That means the price is on price. The yield. Thousand. Why are you? No, the yield increase. I am confused. I am confused. Do they have any op? The US dollar doing? Such a weird day. It's a move to safe, but not. Even Adobe software. Somebody was talking to me about software and how it could be how it rally this year because it's been so beat up. Adobe. It's just been so hit, and even the rally. We saw the rally. Starting to see. It's funny because like they're doing well, but the market does. And then Intel was on. Hmm. Market's giving away a couple of the or solar. No, we're giving a little bit of the gains. S&P 500 also will come. Still hold. Such a weird. Even Western Digital here. Profit taken trigger a sharp decline. Even on Micron, I sold some of my Microns. Guy, he needs to breathe, even though it's cheap still, because we're gonna find out what happens. I rotate of them contracts. Bind the dip, bind the dip. Right? So yield lower, but the data here is weak. Hey. It's down. Not massively. That's fine. So it should be done. There we go. I think, yep. "21 days." This went down? It went down. I'm expecting a cut. That's insane. We're gonna wait for the data, but yeah. If you made it this far into the episode, which would be crazy, because I'm talking to myself pretty much, but if you made it this far to the episode, impressive. Let me know in the comments. I would love to see this kind of content on watching this. Thanks so much for watching. Ready? I'm gonna piss out, Graham. You're the real MVP. But yeah, I'm gonna take a break. But yeah, we go live every Thursday. Every Thursday. So yes. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Peace.